Hey guys, I'm on to day 4 now, exploring. There's just a lot here to do. The one thing I will say about Singapore, since I've been here day 4 now, walking around, it's definitely, if you're looking to explore Singapore and come down here, the one thing, whether you're environmentalist or not, the air is so fresh. Like, even though they have cars everywhere, you don't really get to smell or inhale a lot of pollution. Singapore is definitely a place I would recommend for you if you are looking to, if you're coming from a country or a city where you drive a lot and you want to kind of like a change of pace and just walk around and explore. Singapore is definitely the place for you. One of my best friends, Caleb, Preston, told me and shared with me is you can definitely take a ride or on a taxi or possibly even rent a car for yourself or a bike or a motorbike in places like these. But I do recommend, just like my friend Caleb recommended, walking is way better because you could actually stop, enjoy the view and see certain things, whereas if you're driving, you have to come to a traffic light, you're more distracted by multiple things, especially if you're new to a country where you don't necessarily drive or used to their driving. Like here in Singapore, it's kind of like in England, they drive, depending if you're in America, you're going to stay on the wrong side of the road. But if you're in Singapore and the rest of Europe, you're driving on the right side. So I can't say which one is right and wrong because it all depends on which country you come from and which country you're willing to adjust to mentally with an open mind. Just little disclaimer, if you do come to this particular Starbucks in Singapore that is in the Skyrise office building, you have to go through this little hallway, depending on which way you come from, because there's also that way you could go through. When you come down, you want to go through this hallway. I want to bring up real quick. I'm going to try to stay quiet so I'm not disturbing other guests here, but this particular Starbucks that's in the office building, they just shared with me, and I've always naturally been curious, so I'm like, I'm going to ask just to see what happens, just to price compare between what US, how they do their tall, grande, and venti cup sizes at Starbucks versus how they do it here in Singapore. So in Singapore, if you get a tall or grande, basically small or medium, you pay the exact same price. Now if you get a venti, it's obviously going to be slightly more. Now in US, you actually get charged for every individual size, tall, grande, and venti. So 3 different price breakdowns. This is my 5th Starbucks location that I've been to. So I'm trying to gather just different data, just kind of figure out what countries, how they do things, and what keeps them moving. As I'm continuing exploring another Starbucks that I just went into not that far from where previous Starbucks I was just at. Walk-wise, maybe 5 minutes. And look at the building behind me. This entire building, this all used to be a mall at one time. They turned into an office space now. It's impressive from the outside. It looks like residential, but really it's all office building and office space. It's incredible. here the people are like, as I've said this before, they're super nice. And even in an office building, which today's technically Monday, lunchtime for a lot of these people, I asked the two front security guards, a young woman and an elderly man, just some basic questions about this building, designed for, what it's used for. And it was amazing that I wasn't like asked or forced to be kicked out of here, where like, since I live in the DFW area, like if I went to an office building in Dallas, because this is technically considered just a little bit outside of downtown Singapore City, but it is one of the, it looks like just by the buildings design and everything, it does look like it's one of the pretty prestigious high-end buildings and office buildings. And here they did not like kick me out or like act all snobbish. In Dallas, however, I get that a lot because unfortunately I have to work with Dallas people a lot, and 9 out of 10 times they're snobbish, they're rude, and they try to kick you out just because maybe you don't fit their lifestyle, or you know, maybe you're not dressed the same way as they do. So it's refreshing to go to a country, be around people that actually don't really care what you look like. If you ask a question, they're willing to help answer the question without actually being rude to you. Well, the rain wasn't in the forecast. I did not expect it to rain today. Oh, and as I'm saying it, it's pouring down even more now. While I'm waiting for the rain to slow down, one thing I noticed, so here in Singapore, all of the steering wheels in cars, they actually on the right side. So I just saw Tesla with the steering wheel on the right side, so it kind of inspired me to do this video real quick. Interesting that here in Singapore, those are the requirements. But it's interesting that if you wanted to order your Tesla here in Singapore, you have to order it with the steering wheel on the right side. Well guys, it's still raining pretty heavy. Only thing that's protecting me is the sleeve right here. So I'm just hanging out by the sleeve, enjoying the rain, enjoying the fresh air. This is incredible. This is another mall. I'm exploring the different malls here. They have a ton of them. So right there, where my fingers are, hold on, make sure I've got my camera position right. Right there is a gaming center that's like a whole like little island behind me. And then right over, where's my finger? Right over there is green space for anybody to sit. And let me see if you can see that. It would be right there. It's got green spaces and anybody can sit there, study, eat, whatever they got to do. I normally try not to eat sweets too much. Like the sign says, I like it thick. And this one says, trust me, it's worth every calorie. I got a Choco Bueno, which is dark chocolate with Choco Bueno on top. It is almost 9 o'clock here. As you can see, there's hardly anybody around me. I've seen ladies walk through here, and I've seen guys walking by themselves. At nighttime in Singapore, it's definitely a safe place. Here's another thing I noticed. Just to kind of like reassure you, if you are thinking about coming to Singapore, if you've never been to Singapore, this is definitely the safest country you could possibly be in. My point of view, I think it's a lot of their laws are more common sense. If you steal, you got to get punishment. Like if you assault somebody, there's going to be consequences. Where in America, it seems like you could steal, like in the case of California, you can go to California and steal $500 worth of looting from a business that is trying to survive. And yet the Californian lawmakers, they'll just tell you, oh, sorry, can't do anything about it. If you're looking into Singapore, Singapore is definitely a better option than California. All right guys, on to my 5th day starting out here in Singapore.